Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about cheating extra elevation on your second focal plane scope. Okay, so I've moved this primary arms ACSS. This is my original one, the $300 one. I've moved it on to a 9mm AR. The reason is because I now have the M8 and the SLX 1-10 Griffin grid. So I've got better scopes to put on my on my other ARs that shoot like half MOA groups at 100 yards. So what I did is I wanted to put this scope here on a 9mm, and the reason is because in one power I can do some CQB work at close targets, so I can shoot steel plates. So that's why I thought it'd be useful to have this on a 9mm AR. But one of the things I want to do is I also want to take this out to some distance. I've already shot this to 200 yards. What I have here is I have a 20-yard zero, which gives me a second zero at 100 yards. And at 150 yards, basically I'm using like the 400 yard mark, all right, at 150 yards. And then at 200 yards, I'm using the 600 yard mark, okay? So this, the ACSS on this goes all the way up to 800 yards, right? So I have additional elevation. However, I plan to shoot this at 300 yards, and there's a good chance that I may not have enough elevation, okay? So there's a way to cheat it. The way you cheat it is from max power, if you dial it down to, let's say, like a 6 power, what happens is the reticle basically enlarges, right? Because it's second focal plane, and now you've got additional elevation. So I'm gonna try and demonstrate to you guys over here behind the camera, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do. Try to line up over here. Okay, so if you look over there, right, look where that where the bottom of that ACSS is, right, the 800 yard mark. Look where it's touching that target. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dial this back from 8 power. I think I'm only going to need to go to 6 power, but I'm going to kind of exaggerate it so you guys can really see it. So I think that's at the 3 power position. Get you back in the glass. Okay, so in the 3 power position, trying to get focused, you can see how the bottom of that ACSS, right, is now like way low on the target, right? So in order for me to line up, I have to basically lift the front of the barrel up in order to get that to line up, right? So you see how now I have additional elevation. All right, so by dialing from 8 power, right, on the second focal plane, by dialing back, we're able to get additional elevation. So the way these second focal plane scope works is, right, when you're in 1 power, right, only the tip of the chevron, right, let's get you guys back in there. Yeah. So only the tip of the chevron is accurate at 1 power, okay? And then you can kind of zero in. You can use the chevron, the horseshoe, to like put that on your target. So the horseshoe itself as a whole is accurate because that's centered around the tip of the chevron. So basically the tip of the chevron is accurate. The rest of the bull drop below that is not accurate. That's absolutely meaningless, okay, unless you're dialed all the way up to 8 power, okay? So when you're at 8 power, okay, that bullet drop now on this is set up so that it's a bullet drop for basically a 5.56. Okay, so depending on I mean, it can be used for any caliber. You just gotta basically know what your holds are. So you basically the bullet drop, if you're using a 5.56, is gonna be somewhat accurate if you're using the exact type of ammunition that they tell you to use, and if you're not, that's not a big deal. Basically you zero in at either 50 yards or 100 yards, and then you take it out to like 400 yards, and basically you adjust to get it perfect at 400 yards, and then, you know, everything from zero distance all the way up to, you know, well, let me not say 800 yards, because that really depends on the bullet. You know, from zero distance all the way out to 500 yards, you're going to be pretty close, right? Using the bullet drop, okay? If you want to really be accurate out to 800 yards, you have to use the prescribed 77 grain bullets that they tell you. I think it's like MK 262. You got to use exactly what they tell you if you want that bullet drop to hold all the way out to 800 yards. So, but the bottom line here is I put this on a 9mm, right? And I'm going to make this work for me. So I've already shot this out to 200 yards using the 600 yard line. So at 300 yards, I mean, obviously it's going to be definitely at the, I think that the 800 yard line is not going to be enough. I think I'm going to need to hold high. I mean, I'm going to have a large target. I'm going to hold at the top of the target, but I think I'm going to have to dial it back using the magnification adjustment. I'm going to have to dial it back probably to 6, okay, which is going to change the image, and that's going to give me that additional elevation, and that I think should put me on my target at 300 yards. So I'm going to do an updated video when I do this. I just wanted to kind of introduce the idea to you guys, so that when I do upload that video, you guys have already heard this concept once. All right, and then we can just see how I do on that day. So thanks for watching. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed to all my channels, because they back each other up. I got Pocono shooting, I got Absolute Gun Rights, and I've got the original Safa channel, which goes back to 2006. Talk to you guys soon.